And it is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Ostel. The car is in a loading dock tonight. I'll explain why. But first, I should tell you that Car Con Carne is sponsored by Sooper Solar. You can switch to solar. You can increase the value of your home. You can start saving money immediately with nothing out of pocket. Go to Sooper Solar, S-O-P-E-L, solar.com.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Ostel.
Okay, so I'm in the loading dock of Smash Plastic, the only record pressing plant in the state of Illinois. To my right, if you're watching this, or if you're listening, it doesn't matter, it's John Mohr from the band Tar, the legendary Chicago indie band Tar, a band that I kind of thought was over and out, so to speak.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about Tar. Tar playing this Smash Plastic Live Volume 1 on October 1st. How did this happen? Or you guys all get along, obviously, now? Or
Yeah, we've always gotten along. We were really active from 88 through 95, and then we, with determination, knew that was our last record, hence Over and Out.
although Toast would have been an appropriate farewell album title as well.
That was more of a premonition into a tour that, whoops, is that me or you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. We decided that after the 93 Toast record, touring was a bridge too far, but we enjoyed each other's company. We enjoyed writing music.
And let's stop there, because touring is a grind.
It's
from
terrible.
the outside, it looks like so much fun. You're going city to city. You're sleeping on strangers' couches. You're drinking every night. But that's a grind.
Yeah. I think, how did I describe it once? It's like a hot dog eating contest. Like the first hot dog is awesome, and the second one's pretty good, and the third one's like, yeah. And then like you have your fifth dog, train's going by. And
You're like, I can't choke down the bun. This is too much work.
It looks like the Metro.
It is.
And then you check the calendar, and you got 21 more shows in 22 days, and you're getting $200 a night.
Right.
So it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I'll say that with a little retrospective, perspective, it was a blast, and I'm really glad I did it. But so we stayed friends. I ended up moving after that to Seattle, so logistically that made anything more difficult. But we did get back together in 2012, played 2 shows. We reissued a compilation LP of Odds and Ends. Then we played again in 2017 for a benefit for ACLU and Southern Poverty Law Center, celebrating our new president at the time.
Mm-hmm. Celebrating.
Yeah, and then here it is 5 years later. So
Well,
we're kind of in a zombie state. We're not really alive, but apparently you can't kill us.
You got to aim for the head. But it seems like you might be in a bit of a nostalgic moment. I mean, you just put out the re-released records of the first few records.
Yeah, that was one of those pandemic passion projects. So we had talked about that for years, and it all came together. 2 years ago it started? Yeah, whatever year that was, 2020, spring of 2020.
Uh-huh. Time flows differently these days.
Yeah, so we started just putting out some live tapes that we had, Odds and Ends, and finally said, what would be really cool is if we reissued the earliest records that are harder to get. And we sort of said, well, if we're going to do the records, like what if we did another record? You get 4 records, that's a box set.
Yes,
now
absolutely.
We're talking. And not just a box set, but we've got to get a certificate signed by members of the band. There needs to be sequenced and numbered, along with an actual pick.
You have to make it collectible.
Yeah.
Not just ownable, collectible.
Yeah, so, and we were aware of what Smash Plastic was doing, And the 160, 180 gram records are just so nice.
Oh yeah, because when Tar was just starting out in the late '80s, records you could wave them in the air and they would wobble.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, back in that day, you get what you get. You'd mail your tape off to someone, and you'd get a test pressing, and it sounded crappy, and then you'd get the actual pressing, and it's just what you got. But now, we mastered the stuff at Chicago Mastering with Bob Weston. It sounded good. Got over here, it sounds great. And so it was so nice to get those records out and actually be really, really pleased with the end result. So not just revisiting the past, but improving it.
I love that. And again, Smash Plastic Live, Volume 1, on October 1st, noon until 10 p.m., 4200 West Diversey. I love this complex. You are playing, Tara's playing, Pixel Grip, FIRE-TOOLZ, Rookie, Oh No, Serengeti, Bev Rage, and The Drinks. All those artists performing at Smash Plastic Live Volume 1. And there's a record fair with like 20 indie labels selling stuff. This is come early, stay late.
It should be awesome.
This is a music fan's dream day. And we get to see Tar.
Yeah.
Will you play Muncie?
We had a multi-hour rehearsal, and that was one of the songs we worked on.
I love how dark and foreboding it is, and then it just explodes. I've always that was a favorite from that last one.
Thank you. We wrote the main riff at a sound check in Muncie.
Of course.
So, yeah, that's a
but
good song.
you didn't write Barry White in Barry White.
No. We appreciated, I think, the drum rhythm, which was the inspiration for that. But the actual rhythm of the song was not a Barry White rhythm. But, the humor stayed.
You did your last official show as Tar, the first Tar V1 at Lounge Jacks in '95. What's crazy to me, and I don't know if it's crazy to you, John, but there's at least one generation, if not two, who not only have never been to Lounge Jacks, have never even heard of Lounge Jacks. So the challenge, and I think the thrill for you, is to bring a whole new generation on board with Tar music.
That would be the trick. If you can bridge a generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I listen to those Tar albums, I think, well, shit, that's what the '90s sounded like. That was that moment for me.
Yeah.
You had that sound.
Yeah, well, just reflecting on that recent rehearsal, it felt really good to play so many of those songs again.
You steered hard away from the music business when you were done with Tar.
Mm-hmm.
Does getting back into the music business, does jumping back into Tar, does it feel like hooking up with a Crazy X?
No. Yeah. It's a little more complicated than that. What's the word? Polymorphic? Is that the word?
Polyamorous, I think.
Polyamorous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Polymorphic, I think, means you would all change. You'd be like shapeshifters.
Shape-shifting.
Yes.
That is an awesome idea.
Right?
Yeah, you do the set, and then everyone goes backstage, and you're like, all right, you're the beaver, you're the muskrat, you're the dolphin, you're the snake. And someone's like, why am I always the snake?
Why are we the Chinese zodiac all of a sudden? What the fuck?
Yeah. Why can't I be a panda?
Right, why can't I be a panda if I had a nickel?
For me, those shows, those reunion or whatever shows, kind of rekindled, the desire to play. And then I was fortunate enough to play a couple odds and ends with John Langford and his Skull Orchard, which then I ended up playing more in, and that was inspiring. And then everything went sideways with at least for me, it went sideways with the pandemic.
Well, I think it went sideways for everyone, John. I don't think you're special on that.
So there was a lot of catching up to do, and so I was able to, I don't know if it's an outlet or a release or coping, use music as a way to help get through that or wherever we're at right now.
Always. All right, so we can see Tar again October 1st, Smash Plastic Live Volume 1. We're going to try something super cool. We're here in the middle of the night at Smash Plastic. We're on the loading dock, which will serve as the stage for the event. You and another John.
Yes, John Symanski.
From Skull Orchard.
Yes, John the Pie Man.
John the Pie Man. You and John the Pie Man are going to perform a song right here on the loading dock,
Yes.
acoustic, a tar song.
We are. Yes, indeed. It's
Where you
one of the early tar songs, Static, which was on the Handsome EP.
God, you're going to do that right here on the loading dock. Amazing. All right, I cannot wait to see Tar. Smash Plastic Volume 1. Come here. It is at 4200 West Diversey on the northwest side. I think this is the Hermosa neighborhood, maybe?
Ish.
Like Diversey and Pulaski?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just west.
And you could see Tar and all those other bands, and you could come with your credit card or debit card ready to do some damage, because all those different labels are going to be here selling records. All right, John, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Car Con Carne, sponsored by Sopel Solar, sopelsolar.com.
If I can't have what I can use, then I don't need what I can't lose. Well, I can see these teeth like never before. Can't see this head, can't see this sore. If I can't have what I can use, then I don't need what I can lose. Well, I can see these teeth like never before. Can't see this head, can't see this sore. It's also new, it's also strange, it's also old, it's also strange, it's also new, it's also strange. Well, I can see these teeth like never before. Head, can't see this sore. I've got to stop eating and dining on dice like never before. Can't see this head, can't see this sore. It's also new, it's also strange. First ever performance.
Great job.